Yeah, it took some getting used to, but do it pretty easily now. I don't have a mirror in my classroom like I did last year, so I always have my friends here with me to double check for me. Looking, at my future when I was younger, I never would have thought I'd be working at an Islamic private school, but that's just how the cards fell.
Aspiring teachers in Canada face the toughest job market in the country. For every 10 people looking for work in education, there is only one job open. It's a struggle Meg Hutchings is all too familiar with.
I went to Teachers College in the UK, and I was aware of the challenges of finding a teaching job. It's very competitive, and not getting on a permanent job, but not being able to get even on supply lists or anything like that. So I decided to stay for another year in the UK after my training, and I taught for 1 year in a high school in England. And then when I came back here, it was pretty much a write-off. Lists were closed, there are no jobs. That's what I've been hearing over and over again, for a couple of years now. So I find myself very lucky that I'm able to work at this school, have a job in my field and getting valuable experience, and I really enjoy it. So beats waitressing.
In a few months, 800 students will be graduating from the University of Ottawa's Faculty of Education. Then, they'll have to compete with thousands of others across the country for a coveted teaching job. The competition is driving at least some of them out of the country. Mike is learning Swedish. That's because he's just accepted a 2-year teaching contract in Sweden. It will allow him to do what he loves right away, rather than struggling on a supply list like many of his classmates.
A scary thing as to what people are ready to do to get these jobs. I don't talk about it much to my classmates. I figure that they're just as scared as I am, sort of thing. I have announced that I am going off to Sweden, and everybody's been asking me for contact information, kind of seeming to scramble, and it's crazy to see at what point these people may be ready to relocate as well. Kind of disgusts me a little bit, the fact that universities do form so many teachers and that we, at the end of the line, have paid for this education and are ready to go out in the market and cannot find a job. And people stick around. We see all the supply teachers that are kicking around, and you could do that for years and years and not get a contract.
While Mike is critical of the teachers' colleges, Dr. Christine Sertam, a director of teacher education at the University of Ottawa, says her hands are tied.
First of all, the number of people that we take into the program is actually mandated by the Ministry of Education. So it's not as though we as a faculty can say, oh my, we need to really cut down because there just aren't jobs out there. They come in, I think, expecting that they'll finish and they'll jump into that grade 3 classroom where they'll be that English teacher that they always wanted to be. And it's somewhat discouraging for them because they may not move right from here to that exact view that they had in terms of what it means to teach.
All you can do is apply to boards, hope, go volunteer, make connections.
Obviously, this isn't working for everyone. The reality is many teachers are waiting on supply lists for years. This woman, who asked to remain anonymous, graduated last year and is still supply teaching, always waiting for the next call.
I'm generally getting between 1 and 2 days a week, but that can also include half days. It can be hard and it's tough, especially if you're trying to survive on an income that's not fixed every month. But you do what you got to do, and you pay your dues, and you work your way up. Like 1 month, I can make over $1,000 in like 2 or 3 weeks, and then another month I might only make like $200, $400 based on the amount of days I have. So you have to just kind of budget really well, and no, you just don't know.
The only way for some people to pay the bills is to do something more than just supply.
I just wanted to check in with you before our meeting tomorrow, see where
That's
you're
what
at.
Simon Bennett had to do.
The last few months I've been working on developing a summer program for young people. There's lots of different things that you can do with a Bachelor of Education, and if I wasn't going to get a teaching job, I started thinking about what other sorts of things can I do. what other things can I do that, you know, will help me as a teacher?
X minus 4. No, 7. Yeah, I like that. Okay, X minus 7 squared. Give me another number. +3. +3.
Amanda Pari is one of the lucky ones. After a brief time supply teaching, she landed a full-time contract at a school in Ottawa, her hometown.
Smart, you should have thought about that. I was a student too.
Make yourself known to the principal. I mean, so many supply teachers come in and out of the school in a day. And if you never walk into the office and say, hi, my name is, you know, they are not going to know you because you're just doing what they need you to do. And as so long as you're unseen, they're happy.
Any limitations on X? No, why? Because
I definitely owe it a lot to working hard and making the right contacts and doing the right thing, looking good when you supply. I think a lot of people come in and think it's just babysitting, and it's not babysitting. You've got to come in and work.
Working hard, putting in long hours to stand out, and sometimes opening yourself up to be the kind of teacher you never imagined you would be. That's what's required to make it in today's classrooms. For the 25th hour, I'm Ora Morison.